You do know I can see that, right?
Okay.
You do know that I'm black, right? You know that I'm black. Welcome to the No Filter Podcast. Welcome to the No Filter Podcast. We're back, bitches. Season 3 up in this bitch. Yeah, this is how it's gonna start out. And listen, right. So when y'all see this, right? So before we even kick this off, we changed up some things, but I want y'all to know, I don't give a fuck. We was laughing when we came on, and we was having a conversation, and it ain't none of y'all motherfucking business. So when you fucking call me asking me about this shit, don't be like, what was y'all laughing at? We was laughing at you, nigga. That's what the fuck we was laughing at. Anyway, so today, y'all, and we're gonna need some feedback later. You know, y'all let us know how y'all like what we do, and you know, we're not gonna change it. By the way, we just want to know if y'all actually like it. We don't really care, but we want to know. Kick it off, Vinny. Introduce it.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to apologize for Mr. Mookie not hitting the record button because we were cutting up and having a good time. But today we are going to discuss somewhere between 1850 and maybe the 90s or the early 2000s, how whitey stole black music and all music, actually.
All the way up into yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right. I like that. I'll take that. But yeah, I was watching, or I found some, what the hell did that graphic say the other day? It says something like how white people get crunk, or I don't, like some dumb shit like that. And it triggered my brain into this, you know, remembering of how everything was stolen. Everything in white culture doesn't belong to white culture. Well, except for the Karens, they can have that shit. But everything in white culture was stolen, including all of the dancing, all of the music, and yeah, that's where I'm going with that. So, that being said, I've been seeing a lot of, and this is something else that popped in my head that made me want to do this subject. I've been seeing a lot of extremely Caucasian people on different platforms performing R&B and hip hop, and don't get me wrong, they're doing a great job of it. Somebody introduced me yesterday to this guy named Terry Swims. Have y'all heard of Teddy Swims, I think his name is?
I've heard of him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What you think?
He can sing.
I mean, yeah, that's obvious, but is that all you have, really?
I haven't looked into him, but I've seen videos. I heard a snippet of him singing. Mm-hmm. Honestly, when I heard him and saw the praise that he was getting for singing R&B and he was white, I turned it off. So yeah, I didn't want to hear that.
My friend Katie introduced me to Teddy Swims yesterday, and I thought that the song that she let me hear was wonderful. It was called Amazing. I just thought it was a good song, and immediately after that, this other artist came on. It was Alan something or other, or something Alan, and it was a white dude. I think he had dreads. I couldn't tell by the picture. If not, he just looked ratty. And he was singing a Bob Marley song in a white bitch in a coffee shop loving that shit kind of way. And it annoyed the hell out of me. And so all of these things led us to today, where we're talking about, just for instance, how you can hear the original Swing Low Sweet Chariot in Sly and the Family Stone. Does anybody else have any input on songs that you can definitely hear an influence from the old 1800s music? Or even as far as blues go, because blues is literally the birth of every other kind of music that we listen to at all. I even think it shares some roots with Latin jazz, which is eventually became to known as what my people listen to.
Was that an open?
Yes, it was actually. I'm glad somebody decided to speak besides me. Thank you. I thought you guys had left.
I didn't know that was an open invite. I don't know. I mean, they've been spelling out music for years. Nothing new.
You know what the crazy part is?
They will continue to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the crazy part is when I was doing a little bit of background, see where I wanted to take the conversation or where we could take the conversation. I saw that it was never small time songs that white people stole. It was always big hits. And what was her name? Big Mama Thornton?
Yep,
Was that it? Yeah.
That's correct.
That's like the first one that always pissed me off. That was the one that I was just like, and I didn't know about it until much later in life when I actually started to educate myself and didn't know that Elvis Presley didn't write or come up with most of his own music at all. His dancing. Did
you say most of or all of?
I think there was one song that was written by a white guy for him, and that's why I can't say all.
But that's still not him writing his own stuff or even being
okay,
inspired.
Then we can say all. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
But I don't want to. If I don't have a fact, I will not use finite language like that. Just because I don't want to say something wrong, and somebody goes on a tirade for a half hour telling me how wrong I am. I'm sorry, I had to do it. But
okay.
No, what? Who said it was you? It could have been Moot. So yeah,
it's okay.
I know. Look, it's gonna be okay. I promise. Damn, now I forgot what the hell I was saying.
You were talking about Big Mama Thornton. And
thank you.
People music being stole at the height of the black people's popularity because white people didn't want their kids dancing to black people's music.
Thank you. That was putting it very succinctly. Also found out that Led Zeppelin's entire catalog was stolen. Rolling Stone's entire catalog was stolen. The Beatles' entire catalog was stolen.
Rolling Stone's catalog wasn't stolen. That's not true.
Okay.
It's not theirs, but it wasn't stolen.
Would you care to expound upon that?
Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, they recorded for a particular company. That company owned the rights to the music. Those rights and the intellectual property involving those rights were forfeited by said artists for years to come, which allowed other artists to play their music and in a more accepting aesthetic.
You mean
that's what we're going to say?
So the white people could like it? Is that what more accepting is?
No. It wasn't a matter of white people liking it, because white people liked the music that they were hearing. Obviously, what I'm saying is when these things were happening, it wasn't so much the music itself. it was like you're talking about segregated times and things of this nature, and who's going to be on what album covers and how you're going to sell these things, and niggas not allowed to fucking, you know, make a particular type of money. Like so far everything we've talked about is pre-civil rights.
Yeah, absolutely.
See what I'm saying? So, right, like at the end of the day, like none of these things was cool. None of them things was okay. So you run into the problem of, you know, the white folks that heard this, they like, okay, cool, boom, let me record you. Niggas not knowing no better, recording it, signing over all motherfucking rights to every fucking thing they could possibly ever receive from it. And now the complete and total ownership of the music belongs to the white company that they signed the rights over to. And now, how do you present this during racial strife in the world? Not even just America. You put a white face on it. So that white face now fits the aesthetic, but the music itself still sounds soul-filled.
See, that's exactly what I think is happening today. Too many
Exactly that. It's not exactly that, because we're not talking about folks giving up all rights and claims to their music. Like at this point, they sonically are mimicking what is done in our communities. But prior to that, Black folks was actively recording songs, not being paid, putting them out, being on the Chitlin circuit, touring with this music, white people listening, but you're talking about segregation. So in the North, where folks weren't allowed to be, in the South, where folks weren't allowed to be together, in the North, where folks weren't allowed to make no money, how do you put this out? You give it to the white guy, put the white guy on the album cover, let the white guy replay with the white band all of the notes and all of the chords, which there's like a little distinction when you listen to the two different versions of the songs. It's like a little timing distinction, because they're not playing from feeling, they're re-recording something that they've heard. So they put the bars and the measures together in the whole shebang. That's why it sounds a little bit different. And then they put it out.
Yeah, like the clip I saw from the Little Richard movie. I haven't actually watched the movie, but I saw a clip where Little Richard was singing Tutti Frutti, and some white dude, who I don't know who he was represented as, was also singing it. And I just saw like the dichotomy, the serious issue with, and I hope there's not too much gravity behind what I'm saying, but I'm gonna say it. I see where white folks just do not belong in that world, period. They do not belong in the world of anything that has to do with culture from Black folks or POC, period. And it irritates the hell out of me. It just irritates me.
I won't go fully down that road. Robin Thicke can sing, Justin Timberlake can sing, Justin Bieber can sing, Adele can sing, Eminem can rap. The fact that they are heralded as the saviors of a particular genre is where it becomes problematic. The fact that,
what do you mean?
Lyrically, Eminem is not better than Royce the 5'9". They're both from the same place. Both from Detroit. They homies, the whole shebang. They record together like since the beginning. Like Bad Meets Evil is Royce and M. But we've watched the trajectory of both of their careers. Royce is nowhere near the star Eminem is. That's weird. Justin Timberlake, fucking Justin Bieber, all of these folks run around rubbing elbows with Neo and Usher. But Neo and Usher are not household names the way Justin Timberlake and Bieber is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not saying that those folks don't have talent. I'm not saying they don't even belong in the genre. What I'm saying is they receive so much more for doing our music than we will ever receive. And then they don't even end up in crazy ass slave deals.
I agree with that. I feel
That's
like
where I'm at.
That's a very good point. Ari, please continue.
that with the white people that do Black music, rap, sing, whatever, compared to the Black people who do it, they get praise being mediocre, but they enjoy it because, oh, you sound Black. That's a fucking compliment to them. And like Dee said, they get more praise, they get more awards, they get more money, they get more endorsements. So somebody like Jasmine Sullivan versus Adele. Jasmine Sullivan, not saying Adele can't sing, but Jasmine Sullivan to me is a better singer. It has more range than Adele could ever have. But whereas look at their careers.
Somebody wants to listen to Adele. I always tell them, look, if you want to listen to somebody who's got real soul in their voice, let's put on Ella, or let's put on her, or, you know, something to that effect if you're going to listen to newer music. What is Ella? What is her last name?
Lmao.
Thank you. I couldn't think of it. I'm like, she's British. Adele's British. Let's hear the better singer, because I think that Lmao is way better. Leaps and bounds above. I can't do the whole. I think it's best described by me, or it coming from me, saying that white people songs, or songs performed by white singers that have poppy type feel and pop music hooks, they're the ones that get stuck in my head. And they're annoying. They're very annoying. But I hear, like, for instance, I love listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, when I hear In the Fire, I could listen to that song. In the Stone, I could listen to that song 10 times in a row, no question, and hear something different every time. And not get tired of it. It's not annoying. Am I wrong about that? Does anybody else find some of these poppy, newer musics, whatever, they just stick in your head? They're not really, they're just more annoying than anything else. I'm gonna stop asking questions.
I was just going to let there be a gap there. I don't find newer music annoying, probably because I don't consume it readily. I'm like, I don't listen to the radio, so it's not force fed to me. And if it's in a movie, I'm more concerned with the actual movie than I am the score of the movie, unless it's scored perfectly. And then I'm like, oh, that makes so much fucking sense. So I don't really bump into that problem. I will say how we consume music has shifted greatly. So that's why some things may be stuck in your head. Like there are things that we grew up, that we naturally attach ourselves to, that may become stuck in one person or another's head. But because we already have those things, this new shit won't be stuck in my head. That's weird. Like, I know there's particular music that I hear, and it makes me feel like I need to get off my ass, eat my bowl of cereal, and help my mama clean, even though I don't live with her no more. And then there's other music that makes me think I'm supposed to put some turtle wax on my car and armor on my wheels and ride around the park. And I don't do that either. like, it's just how that works. So I can't say the newer music is annoying. I'm not susceptible to it because I don't fucking consume it. However, I would like to go back to your LMA statement. I would not compare Lmao to Adele in any way, shape, or form.
Why do you say that? Why?
Z, the next letter in the alphabet, not the progression. Lmao is.
Why are you like this? Why? Why? Why?
Lmao should be famous. Yes. And I'm not taking anything away from her vocal range or anything like that. But in comparison, when you talk about how Adele was marketed, who she was marketed towards, and the song she sang, I would more closely put her into a category against like Jill Scott and Angie Stone.
Still both
and
singers
Jasmine Sullivan. And Jasmine Sullivan, as was previously mentioned, but not so much Jazz because she's not a big girl. Like the way we elevated as a society, Adele, with how she presented her weight and all these, like Lmao don't fit that bill. Like that girl, you know, she was presented on some whole sexy shit because she's a little baddie. That's not how Adele was presented at all. And we both know who both of them are. But if you ask somebody to fucking say an Angie Stone song or a Jill Scott song outside of the long walk or the walk or whatever, most people are hard pressed outside of the community. People know Lmao because she has been promoted. That's why I wouldn't compare them in that way. Like when I say Adele has received a benefit that she doesn't deserve, I'm saying that against somebody the likes of Angie Stone, who wrote the magnum opus that is D'Angelo's first album. That becomes problematic at that point. When she has writing credits like that, her own fucking albums, and has contributed to music across the board since the 80s.
Yeah.
And does not become famous until after D'Angelo's first album. That's who I would compare Adele to. Like you know, Lmao, she's poppy. They put her on the pop charts. They put her in pop rotation. However, you're not hearing Angie Stone and Jill Scott in pop rotation. That's not happening.
And these are some of the artists that I personally, when I'm listening to music, listen to constantly. I mean,
do you listen to Jasmine Sullivan, Jill Scott, and Angie Stone?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not like, I don't listen to Jasmine Sullivan, but Jill Scott, there's a line in one of her songs that makes me laugh every time I hear it. And it's the one where she talks about dragging her out in the middle of the street and beating your ass.
Didn't I just say not the walk?
That's not the walk.
No, getting in the way. That's the shit. No. Listen, that's what I'm talking about. The poppy songs that got promoted are not the songs I'm reasonably speaking about, because those women literally probably have about 15 separate bodies of work between them.
Yeah, I would agree.
And there's one song that catches on, and it's like, oh, well, no, they're getting their just desserts. When you got motherfuckers in the subway singing Adele with more soul than fucking Adele.
Oh, I agree with that completely. But all I was saying was that part of that song makes me laugh every time I hear it. That's all I was saying. I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
No. That was just like you made the comparison between, number one, Lmao and Adele are both foreigners, and that's one of the reasons that they got promoted the way they both got promoted. LMA's a cute little broad. Like, just keep it a buck. So they marketed it in a particular way where, you know, we would consume the whole entire package, like the same way Adele was marketed to consume an entire package. But Adele ain't, she wasn't the looker when she fucking dropped. So how this chubby white broad end up being heralded for singing black music in a way that black singers have never been was more my point. Because LMA, the fact that we know her means she's a pop icon at this point. No matter if she's not pushed and elevated to the same level of Adele, she's still poppy as fuck. The bitch is she's from across the pond. We shouldn't know her. But we do. So she's clearly received the necessary elevation because she's not from here. And she not, I mean, as much as the girl can sing, hey, that's what's up. But she don't sing better than the singers we have here. So she was marketed and pushed. She was marketed and pushed to us in the same way Adele was. And she fits the phenotypical light skin, is acceptable, all this other shit. No. I said Angie Stone and Jill Scott for a fucking reason. Like, because they do not fit the aesthetic.
Yeah,
Hell,
and
Fantasia. That's another one.
true. I
She
like her.
simply does not fit the aesthetic. And she a baddie, but she doesn't fit this. And this bitch won American Idol the year Jennifer Hudson was on it.
Mookie doing a lot of nodding, but he ain't saying much. That's for sure.
Nothing to say.
Look, this is what Mookie's doing. Mookie's doing this right now. Mookie listening, and he got that thing in him where it's like when Little Richard, like, so you referenced Little Richard, right? So back in the day, Little Richard, he was a demon because he took gospel music and sang secular shit over it. That's why he didn't get promoted the way he needed to be promoted. Like that's what happened. Like, that was the separation between the God-fearing black folks and the heathens. And when he joined the two, the God-fearing black folks was like, oh no, you won't do that on our watch.
Yeah, but Ray Charles did it too, and he was also
No. Listen, not in the way Little Richard did. Not even remotely in the way Little Richard. Ray Charles sang a lot of different shit, but Little Richard was something fucking else at a time when nothing like that even existed. Like, he literally played the chords of gospel music that we were singing in church on Sundays, and on Tuesdays choir rehearsal, and on Thursdays choir rehearsal, and on Saturdays prayer meeting, and in Sunday fucking morning service, and Sunday afternoon service, and the Sunday late service. And then he started singing about shaking your ass to it. There was a clear division when that shit happened. And once again, we're talking about the ability for folks to put forth their product. This is a time when we did not have access to just internet and recording. It required soundboards, analog equipment, all manner of speaking. And we did not have the possession of those things, or the revenue or resources to be able to do that, or the distribution and financing to be able to put those things out. Which is why they were signing those deals, not understanding their fucking rights, not understanding that the long-term aspect of giving up your intellectual property forever. Like, you're literally signing over everything you're entitled to a company for 20 fucking years and saying, okay, I'm agreeing to record for you exclusively for the next 15 years. And you're gonna give me an advance. And then with the paper, you making 7 cents to $1 or some shit, and then they give you $100,000 and tell you that, you know, now you're indebted to them forever. Not knowing that all of your budget, your recording budget, your touring budget, everything, they're trying to recoup. So they're keeping you indebted to that. That's, you know, that's where that was. They simply didn't understand it. And this shit was happening around about the time niggas was learning how to read to begin with. So they definitely wasn't understanding all the legal jargon in the contracts they were signing.
I don't even think
So,
that they were.
that's what it is.
I mean, I don't think. I think there was more illiteracy than
30
just in general. Anyway.
All right. While greedy Mookie feeds his face, we are gonna be back.
Hey, are you eating oatmeal?
We are taking a scheduled break.
Okay.
This is scheduled. New
All right.
motherfuckers, new listeners, old nasty listeners, old nastier listeners. Oh, it's only gonna go downhill from there. The button.